Good afternoon and welcome to another exciting episode of Talking Sports. I am your host, Marvelous M.R. Richards, and I've got a very exciting and well-known guest this afternoon who will be on Zoom. But before I introduce him to you, we'd like to let you know, first of all, that Talking Sports is made possible by ACB Caribbean, our platinum sponsor. And they have been in banking for over 63 years and also 43 years of sponsoring Parish League cricket right here in Antigua and Barbuda. So we suggest for all your financial and banking needs, you need to check them out. They are situated at the corner of Thames and the St. Mary Street right here in St. John's. And there's also the financial center, which is situated on High Street. ACB Caribbean, simply smarter banking. Also, Blue Mountain Water is known as the greatest tasting water and also the purest. And you can get that at the mega distributors, and they are situated on the American Road. Also, Cecil Charles Group of Companies, Seco Pharmacy for all your medical needs. And their experienced pharmacist is dedicated to serving the health care of all their customers. And they are situated also on High Street. Also, Hutchison Limited, the agents for Pine Hill Juices. And you can get that on of course, Hutchison Limited, and they're situated on the Factory Road. So we say whatever your fruity flavor preference is, it's easy to sip and smile with a Pine Hill juice. And of course, I told you you can get that at Hutchison Limited, who are situated on the Factory Road. Also, plumbing and electrical for great service and good deals. Everything plumbing and electrical, all at one stop. And they are situated on the Potter's Main Road, also brands for less. You pay less for quality branded products. And they cater for men, women, and children. And they are also situated on High Street. And we also would like to inform you that you can view this particular program on Facebook at ACB Caribbean Parish League, or on YouTube at Antigua Parish League, also on Instagram at Antigua Parish League, and also coming to you live on Channel 8 right here in Antigua on CTV. Our Zoom ID is 636-015-0303, and the password is 12345. Our WhatsApp number is 1-268-776-2866. That's if you're calling from overseas. And locally, it's the same number, 776-2866. We are asking you to share us with your friends and to like and to share. And now it gives me great pleasure to welcome our Zoom guest, is none other than Jabi Colin Cumberbatch, also known as Bones, well known around Antigua and also the region. He's a Pan-Africanist and also a writer who is presently, I think, working on a book about the history of Leeward Islands cricket, something that we will discuss here today, and who has traveled to many places with the accompanying the West Indies team, the team in the day of Viv Richards and Gordon Greenidge and Desmond Haynes, when the West Indies was the West Indies. And also he has recorded some of those pleasant moments and triumphs with the West Indies team, and on film and also on camera. So that tells you he's also a photographer. Now, as I said, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Jabi. Jabi, welcome to Talking Sports.
Yes, thank you very much, my family. I want to say good afternoon to our viewers. You know, locally,
fantastic. Now, the first question I want to ask you is, of course, you have heard of the royal visit of the Earl of Wessex, who are presently in Antigua at the moment, who arrived this morning, and there has been some like sugar aloes for most of us here in Antigua and Barbuda. And what are your thoughts about his visit here to Antigua?
Well, first of all, being a member of a member of the Reparations Commission, you know, in that sense, it would be important to me. So you get the message out about reparatory justice, no care for the other family, based on the fact that until they apologize to my ancestors for the treatment bestowed upon us that we still suffer from to this day. I have no interest in seeing them, having any dialogue with them, until they apologize, and then we could sit down and discuss where we take it from there in terms of reparations and trying to correct some of the injustices.
Jabi, I think your video might be off. Give it a check for me, please. Right, so but we can continue our conversation. Now, I know that you were working on... sorry, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Well, you're coming through a little bit broken at times, you know?
The internet, but I'm still clearly.
It sounds a little bit, yeah. But your video is on. Your video is still off, I think.
Oh, yeah, the video is off.
Oh, you took it off deliberately?
Because I find put it on. I find sometimes...
Oh, okay. Oh, fantastic. Okay, now, okay, yes.
Somewhat picked up today. I'm the chairman for the Reparations Commission, along with a reparations representative from St. Vincent. And I thought they really dealt with the chairman. It was really atrocious, man. You know, I don't know why this attack on the chairman. You know, somebody who has served this island and community so wonderfully over the years. And I don't mind people having disagreements, whether it be with reparations or whatever. But to question the integrity of the nomad, I find is absolutely ridiculous. And this constant thing about Barbuda. Barbuda, for all that I've been on the Reparations Commission, and Barbuda has never been an issue that we have discussed, because reparations has not reached to that level that we're starting to discuss reparations and how it affects Barbuda or whatever. So, then dealing with issues. I mean, none of us get paid for anything that we do, and where we perceive this going is for our children. Because, you know, when you look at it, if they can't apologize, then, you know, it's going to be difficult for them to because it opens the door for other things in terms of repairing. And if they can't do that, then, you know, I'm not going to hold my breath. But at the same time, we cannot stop. And we've seen it growing. The Reparations Commission has grown considerably from its inception, which was a few years ago. The Reparations Commission has broadened itself into other places in the diaspora, America in particular, and internationally, globally. So, you know, we're making strides in that direction, and we could see the reaction from the royal families. We could see the reaction from that they have notice. And so, and for somebody to go on a program, and it is a talk that way. Because I didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't hear the talks. I heard the interview and then I had to leave. But I heard some of the things that was said after. And I kind of found it very repulsive, you know?
Wow.
You know,
I was looking and reading a little bit about Fire in Babylon, that movie that about the West Indies team, and yourself and King Frank I was featured in that particular film. What was that experience like, you know, for that movie Fire in Babylon?
I reached out to me early before the movie was put together, and so I just sort of like steered them in different directions in terms of the individuals you need to speak to or whatever. I thought it was a beautiful depiction of, you know, what we went through. I guess the only part of the movie that had a little problem with, because I spoke to him, I think his name was Rush, I can't remember his name right now, because I spoke to him and gave him my idea of the cricket that we played, that I refer to as Kaiso cricket.
Uh-huh.
And during the course of the movie, he said, I don't know if he didn't understand what I was saying then, but I got the impression during the course of the movie that this whole thing about Calypso cricket is somehow demeaning or whatever. I know that you'll understand my love for Calypso.
Of course.
and culture, African culture, Caribbean culture, you know, which is why it says Kaiso cricket we play, you know, because we brought a level and type of cricket to the world. We evolutionized the game, you know. So everybody used to look forward to see the West Indies play. To this day, we are missed, you know, that whole approach to cricket is missed internationally. And when you take things like the recreation ground, you know, the recreation ground is a hallowed space. You know, we introduce the whole concept that I say of Kaiso cricket at another level. The Gravies and Chickies and Cocos and Mayfield and all these individuals, Fubu, and you know, these individuals that we put out there, you know. Right. So that it is like, why I say Kaiso cricket is because it has a theatrical umbrella around it, you know. So we took, I see those players, I see those individuals I just mentioned as like a play, and they are field cast for that play. The cricket is the actual play itself, and they represent their field cast. So, you know, it's really very concerning to see the condition of recreation ground.
Well, I heard a comment from Andy Roberts, who said that the movie said it quite a bit, but there was a lot that that was not on film. What do you think he was talking about?
Is that this thing about Calypso cricket started from the journalist, I'm not sure who it is, but the same Tony God of I Will Make You Grab a Fame said something to the effect like the West Indies is playing Calypso cricket, but they don't know how to win. Of course, we went on to prove him wrong, but the response that he doesn't know what he said. The response from the captain is that I assure you that I am not playing Calypso cricket. Whatever is the kind of cricket that whatever he envisaged, you know. And I told him so. I took serious objection. What you were supposed to say is I will continue playing Calypso cricket and I will dominate the cricketing world with my approach to cricket, which I say is Kaiso cricket. I just use Kaiso as opposed to Calypso in a broader sense, you know. because I don't want no confusion between that calypso or the like, them Grecian mythological people. So Kaiso is what we know, what we call calypso. Kaiso is bravo,
Right.
And the cricket kind of emphasized that, so that we have always had communication between our cricket and the crowd. And you can go back way back as Bailey and all them different individuals,
Mm-hmm.
So our cricket has always been inclusive of crowd, which is why, the Anti-Cricket Association, I give serious credit to them to give in, say, electricity and current to the double decker, to encourage it. There is a lot of things said all over the Caribbean about Antigua, and we live to see all of that went.
Right.
All that went away after a while,
But did you think that what Tony Gregg was insinuating was that, we played sort of wahoo, wild cricket without any head, and of course, that was something quite different than he was going to make the West Indies grovel?
Yes, well, he said it in two different times.
Uh-huh.
But you see one thing with the British, they try to get into your head.
Mm-hmm.
I could simply show you examples. I remember one time when the talk about in England, when I went to Berwick in 1980, the talk in England in the press box by certain individuals was an argument between whether Bradman was the white Richards or Richards was the black Bradman.
Yeah.
And, so that was the level to which they had to live. And during the 1984 tour, they tried to get into people's head through Bobby Vinage. All of a sudden, Bobby Vinage, someone's writing and saying, Bobby Vinage is a better cricketer than Richards or so. And you see, them things is to bring disruption in the dressing room.
Uh-huh.
And I really pride myself in talking, for instance, again, another example. 84 when we were beating them so badly, when we were in Blackwash.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in Leeds, like we always made a century. And if you remember, Malcolm Marshall had a broken hand, and he was not supposed to play for the rest of the match. And he got up, he was in civies,
right.
So that play. And he got up, put on his cricket clothes, and went out and batted number 11 so that Gomes would get a century. After he batted, he just felt he could bowl. Mm-hmm. And he went on to have his best bowling performance to date.
Mm-hmm.
Now Malcolm Marshall, they refer to him, they call him the one-arm bandit. Malcolm Marshall should have been player of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And they deliberately gave it to Bones to cause disruption in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And so once you have people that will stabilize it and so forth, they use his book during the tour rather than his book during the tour. And he mentioned that himself and Andy Roberts, is not so together and all this sort of stuff. And that when he was rooming with Andy, he asked Andy for a ride and this and that and a whole set of things he said.
Mm-hmm.
Now the book was supposed to come out after the tour, but they brought the book out before or during the tour.
Mm-hmm.
to cause disruption in the dressing room. So even although what I said about Kyle just now in terms of the Calypso part, Kyle was able to keep the team together, and he just went ahead and just give them the fight that they were supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. They're going to consistently find ways to keep us down. And of course, that my feelings generally, that we are assisting them. We are assisting them.
Right.
Because we've gone away from Kaiso cricket and we play cricket with violins. The rhythm section gone, right? As I put it. And that's one of the problems that we have in.
Uh-huh.
And the engineering, as I refer to it, it comes from the pitches. And they say that for nearly 40 years, and they're going to continue saying it until somebody stand up and take notice.
Yeah.
You know, that we need our pitches back, so our fast bowling can come back and play, and the fast bowling is the engine room, and everything gels from there. The catching, I don't have to tell you those things because you know how it is. It is what, for instance, differentiates Antigua in the Little Islands from the other territories. Why Antigua has been the powerhouse of these territories is our fast bowling. Because you have a Willette, you have Parry, you have you can start from Aston Levy, and you can go and produce a litany of spinners. But there's our fast bowling, right? The same way with Barbados. How much spinners Barbados produce? And Barbados dominated cricket for a long while.
That's
through the litany of fast bowlers that they produce. You know? So I'm saying we need to get back there. And as I'm on that, I will say to you that there's an aspect of our pitches that your father, right? Is the first person that come. We were sitting there on the gallery, and he said to me that the pitch at the recreation ground will begin to deteriorate. So I asked him why. And he said to me, because they stopped using the water from the pond. You know, he used to be in charge of the pitch on the ground.
That's right.
And he said they stopped using the water from the country pond, and they started using pipe water. So I went to tell you the honest truth. At the time when he told me that, I took it with a kind of pinch of salt, right?
Yeah.
But that same week, Barry Edwards' mom used to win plant competitions every year. And she not doing nothing, they have a set of women, including my mother, who used to be selling away for all these things to make the plants more beautiful and stuff. And every year she used to do them. And every time you pass down Cotton Lane, and you look in that yard, the whole yard green and brilliant. And I went to her and said, Mom, how you just get these plants so yourself? She said, the thing I just do a whole set of things. All I do, I don't water my plants with everything other than real water.
Right, but look, tell me something. Do you think that a lot of people in the Caribbean know that the West Indies team from the 90s, from the 80s and the 90s, one of the most successful teams anytime in sports? I mean, you include basketball, baseball, any other sport, that they have reigned supreme for a very, very long time? Do you think that a lot of people in the Caribbean are aware of that?
Yeah, you see, modern research is correct. The only other team that I know of that could compare with the West Indies would probably be the Brazilian soccer team. And they did not win for the length of time that we win as world champions. And when you consider the population of Brazil and the population of the West Indies, the English-speaking West Indies, because I can't include the French territories also, and the American territories. You ask yourself, how is it that this small population could produce probably the greatest sports team ever assembled? And I'm saying to you, it is because of the type of cricket that we play, and we had an advantage athletically, or if you want to be more DNA-wise. DNA-wise. We see all these things coming out recently here now about in America that black babies walk before white babies, and a whole litany of things to do with memory and so forth. That is nothing new, Marvin, because if you look back at old photographs out of America, white women used to give the babies to African women to nurse. Because they recognize that from early, and so what I'm saying is that fast bowling is the most athletic part of the sport, right? And that is why we were able to prevail even before we played Test cricket. From since 1890 something, we were producing fast bowlers. So, and I don't know why it's so difficult to understand that until we get our fast bowlers back on key, we could win, and we might be competitive, but we will not dominate the game like we did before, which is what we're supposed to be doing. Because nobody could answer me this question. Why is it on the 19 level, we are so competitive? And as soon as we move from on the 19 level and we start getting into first class cricket, we see the standard of the cricketers drop.
Right.
What is it? People come up with all kinds of different. I tell you, it's the pictures. The thing is blatant. I see it blatant in front of the face. It's the pictures. You know? And I say further to that. Now, people criticize Barbados pitch last, the last test match there, in the 5 days, you know? People criticize the pitch and saying, and saw a big discourse start up now as to whether the groundsmen around the Caribbean could people. No, there's nothing wrong with the groundsmen. What happened in Barbados was deliberate. Because everybody, after the test match, everybody happy, you know. The board happy, Barbados board happy, the vendors happy, and everybody happy. Because you have this influx of the Miami. And they spent a bunch of money and everybody went away. And so we playing tourism cricket. You understand? And I will say to you, that same Barbados is really my first observation of pitches. We start fixing pitches for 5-day revenue. Our fast bowling was so tearing people apart that they start flattening pitches to get 5-day revenue. We did it right here in Antigua too. It was all over. You know, because in them days, the money coming through the turnstile.
That's right.
So what happened when we were playing, in 1984, when we beat England 5-1 in the Caribbean, 86 in the Caribbean here. After the first 2 games, when we got to Barbados, I was sitting below with Malcolm Marshall. And I was upset and was complaining. And I said, what, Marco? And he said, hey man, weren't you here 2 weeks ago? I was in Barbados early. And we played a match against either Jamaica or Guyana. And we got like something like 8, 9, 10 wickets in the match. And I said, yes. He said, well, how could they fix a pitch like that against Guyana? And then we played against England and they come and put this flat wicket here. So I said, I don't know. So he got up and he went upstairs and I followed him. And he went upstairs and started complaining upstairs. How are you going to upstairs being in with the Barbados Cricket Association people were. And he started complaining and stuff. And nobody would answer him. And when he was leaving, a guy came to him and said, Marco, look man, you have to bear this in mind. Every day that we lose at cricket is $1 million US. The guy said, I just want you to think about that. So my response was, so how come Australia don't care about that? Australia don't care if the game done in 3 days. Once they win.
That's right.
You dominate the game, you know, find ways to get, because they're going to be needed or wanted, and they're going to find ways like with Paco. And they're going to find ways of reimbursing West Indian players properly. They just need to just continue dominating the game. So it's from them historical perspectives I see. And everybody else in the world. Look at India. India just went and India live in the pitches. And you see the result of them live in the pitches. India used to have, except for Gavaskar probably and 1 or 2 of them, they used to have problems with fast bowling. Now they handled the pace a lot better. You know, and they're producing more fast bowling. Remember in them days, Warren, it's just 1 fast bowler India had. Skapedev.
That's right.
The rest is lead by a lot of them medium pace bowlers and stuff. Spinners is what we used to do with.
That's right.
You know? So we need to just get back and get our pitches. And unfortunately, because of the COVID and stuff, I have to understand with the finances and stuff, we haven't been playing any 4-day cricket. So we go straight into T20, and all they're doing is preparing pitches about people to knock 6 or 4s.
It's
entertainment. So I don't have a problem with that, but then you got to be playing 4-day cricket. 4-day cricket is the genesis of the game.
That's right. And everything,
even the
version.
T20. But the other way around. We start with T20 and move to 4-day cricket. No. That works so.
But I know you were working on the history of Leeward Islands cricket. How is that coming along?
It's coming, but it's the thing that what's showing me up is the lack of information. It's amazing that I have to go all over to get information. We have not done a very good job of recording anything in the Caribbean. So it's amazing to know that I get more information out of Guyana and Jamaica than I could get from the archives here. Even though I have to thank them at the archives, they really try hard to see what they could dig up and find for me, if I'm looking for anything. Like for instance, our first class match. I'm speaking now about the Leeward Islands. And we decided to give the Leeward Islands to 1958. And we sent a team to Jamaica. Now I had a picture of the team that I got from Mr. Scotland, but I couldn't identify all the people in the team. And in years I tried to figure out, I sent it to Vance, I sent it to this, sent it to that, and nobody could tell me all the players on the team. And then I reached out to Jamaica, and fortunately, because I found out the picture was taken in Jamaica, so I said, well, whoever took that photograph had to be a professional photographer. The way it was done. And I said, let me reach out. And then I got a list of all the names. So I just a process of elimination, because at least I know all the Antiguans, and I know 1, 2 the other players. And through a process of elimination, because all the members of the team who were there, I was able to, because if you look at the scorecard will only give you 11. The scorecard is not going to give you all the players. And for the ones I don't know, it's still, so I have names, but I can't put them to people. And eventually I got it worked out. There's a gentleman named Mr. Davis from Montreal. He's 90-something now. And he helped me really identify the 2 last remaining people. So it's like that, it's a consistent thing where I have to have these teams, that I've been collecting over years before I started doing it myself. And to put these things in place,
Right.
But so exactly, just information generally.
Let's look back at...
And even although it's taken me so long, Marvin, there are times when I feel good about that. Because I was able to correct a situation by just doing the research. I had to go to Guyana and I got the information out to Guyana. But we sent, there was this talk about us sending Antonison and a team get 3 wickets. And the field put him to field at 5 and win bowl again and all this kind of stuff. Same thing with Mr. Eddie, Captain Eddie. But then when I got in touch with Guyana, I wanted to find out that that's not how it was. What happened, the family, 2 teams, they pick 1 person from each island, from the windwards and the wards. And they added to that other players who were playing for the West Indies. And the Christiani captain 1 team, and Stalmai captain the other team. And the whole idea of it was not to see who will win or what. So when Antonison bowled the first day and got the 3 wickets, I was virtually unplayable. They didn't let him bowl again, they just penciled his name in and said, well, he's 1. And then Mr. Eddie got 4 wickets, the pencil, Mr. Eddie, he's 2. Mr. Davis made 50-something runs, the pencil him in and said, he's 3. Right? And the only one with a question mark was Mr. Mason. From Vincent. But he was injured at the time, so they kind of penciled him in too much with a question mark. So, it's all these things, because I might have gone and written something that was totally inaccurate. Although we understand why people would think that way. Mark would bowl 10 overs. 8 overs to 10 runs. And get 3 wickets, for a spell and you bowl again. It's some kind of,
while we're on some of those players that from the leewards and the smaller territories, right?
Yes.
You have had the privilege of seeing Jim Allen, and you have seen from St. Kitts,
Harris.
Harris.
Yes.
Harris, and you have also seen Sargent and all these guys and stuff like that. What do you think that?
Yes.
Do you think that they got a raw deal there, or they should have, given an opportunity to represent?
Well, yes, it's a very good question you ask. But the way you have to do with that is to, let's say, you mentioned batsmen. One of the finest batsmen that ever came on the card, they were going to be Enoch. Right? Mm. But then when Enoch was vying for place in the West Indies team, it was very difficult to drop anybody on the team. Mm-hmm. You understand? So it has to be taken in the context of what a thing. Jim Allen was advantage. It is true, Jim Allen, that I am not a full-fledged journalist. I wasn't taking photos, and I was sent in 1980 to England to have a look at the press facilities and to come back, right, by the government and the Anti-Cricket Association, which I did. And while there, Mr. Walker was the manager, and you see, we decided I stayed away from journalism. Mm-hmm. Because when I posed the question to him, why isn't Jim Allen in the team and Timur Mohammed is in the team? Mm. Right? Because I remember you got in second, so I water leave. Mm. And they fill that spot with Timur Mohammed. Now it is Walcott himself, the manager, who picked Timur Mohammed. But while I was doing the interview, he said to me, we have a selection committee. And then he kind of looked at me and realized, no, where is this? I mean, me and your brother close, me and the members of the team close. So they would have told me, even although they had a selection committee and tried, they never asked them anything about who to pick. He just went ahead and picked Timur because he coached Timur in there. Mm-hmm. And he went ahead and picked him, and he got angry and started taking him, and the interview broke up. But while the first man I was in the box, I got a call from Warner, when Jamal used to play for. Mm-hmm. And a man just called from there and said, you want to talk to any West Indian? I was the only West Indian person in the box. Mm-hmm. And I went to him and he asked me, how come Jamal is not in the team? So I said, why are you asking me that? He said, okay, hold on. And the man faxed, when there's fax, the man faxed me a set of information how at Warner we score 100 runs and 20 something balls and a whole set of things that he sent to me. You know? Mm. Which is what encouraged me now to talk about Jim Allen. And I need that advantage, So what I am also saying to you, you see, the book on leeward, just 2 books I'm doing, one on anterior and one on leeward. And the one on leeward, I am putting Jim Allen as a West Indian cricketer. Nobody can tell me what to do with my own book.
Well, he did go to
the series, isn't it? If you play for Packer, you play for the West Indies.
Right?
It's like the other person who I would say that a real advantage is Victor. I'll tell you why I say that. Because it has to do with, I was saying that Victor was better than Inaka, was better than who? At the time when they were selecting the team, before they went to Packer, they was played 2 matches. When they were selecting the team, myself, Guy Yarwood, and Clive Lloyd sat down in a meeting with some people. Mm-hmm. And there was a discourse as to whether Victor or Richard Austin should make the team. I was for Victor because I hadn't seen that much of Richard.
Richard Austin. Mm-hmm.
And but the majority felt that Victor was a better bowler and Richard might have been a better batsman. But they gave Richard the edge based on his feeling because he was a tremendous fielder. Mm-hmm. I can't take them away that away. One of the most magnificent catches I've seen was taken by Richard. And that's, but after the Packer left now, how can you explain Victor not in the team? They went and pick out kind of Shiv Ryan from Brian and a whole bunch of people. Mm-hmm. And then the further mess it up by the touring then after that, and they still didn't take him on the tour. You know? So I thought that was abhorrent, you know. And of course before that you would have had and this is just from talking to people now. Because I didn't really see Mr. Warren back. But everything coming out of every single island that I've gone to, people tell me Mr. Warren is one of the greatest batsmen I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And his record stands fit, you know, his scorecards. Mm-hmm. Now like 106 or something not out in a match, in a trial game. And you know, and at no time you could find some reason to bring him into that team. That was engaged them. They don't view small islands as part of the makeup, you know.
Right. But tell me some of the players you think, you know, like Livingston Sargent. There was also the late Vance Amory.
Especially, good batsmen.
What about bowlers now?
All the guys could have bat. I was on a program with one of them, and he was on the program, and he was kind of bigging up to, you know, I'm saying to him, I said for the short while he was on, because there was a disconnection, I didn't take part in the rest of the program. But I was saying to him, the competition between Sinkies and Nevis, and I know how to tell you that more. You know that, you know, the competition was stiff. So even although we had good bowlers also, when you bowl into Vance and then fellas there and you know, all the names you call, and we had them Koreat and them guys there.
That's right.
You know, I mean, it's a high level of cricket we used to play in this region. And everybody would have benefited from it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's tough. Vance was a tremendous opening, but you know, I have a picture of Vance. I gave it to him just before he passed, and I was so grateful that he wanted to pass it on to his family. When he was selected as presidency of the team, and when you look at the players on the team, for him to make that team there, you know, it speaks highly about his batting skills, man, you know. Mm-hmm. Really highly about it, you know. So, you know, man, we produce some great cricketer show in this region here, man. I'm telling you. You know. So.
And your compilation, right, about the history and so of Leeward Islands cricket. What are some of the other areas that you're touching in the book?
Yeah, I like to focus in the book. Outside the way, see, what I first want to do is to make sure that I have an image of every single person who has played cricket for Antigua and the Leewards at a first class level, right? I want to have images of it. So that was my main focus at first. Well, anytime from 1980 coming this way, I would have all those images. So it was just a question of traveling around the different islands and see who have pictures. You know, when I get some little photograph, and fortunately, I had Mario Litunji up in New York at Museum Modern Art, so I could send them things to him, and when he finished with them and bring it back. You know, I mean, I would have been unable to pay for them things like, I mean, $1,000, you know, decided to pay to just bring back them pictures. But he was able to help me with that, and then that's how I think. So I want the focus to be on making sure that I have everybody who play cricket, and by extension, individuals who would have contributed, right? Which, like the athlete class I mentioned just now, the chickies, babies, all of those, right? With two pictures I wish I had. There's two pictures I'm looking for presently. One of Bailey, if I can find it anywhere, and one of there's a guy, I can't remember his name. He used to just walk and spin over recreation young guy. He had a stick and he just make a somersault. I remember him. Even if he's not as thin as Miley. And I'm trying to get a picture steady man. You know?
Right, man cut son.
From the scoreboard situation there, you know? And I spent so much time studying them on the beach, and I really can't find a photograph. And the other photograph, which I wanted, which I have that now, which is your brother. You know? Because your brother said he never played on a team that they ever took a picture of.
Uh-huh.
And the one time they took a picture,
one of my brothers,
which I have, Donald.
Donovich, okay. Okay.
You know? And the one time they took a team picture, which I have, he wasn't playing, he was injured. So I had to reach out to Guyana again because he went to Guyana twice. I had to reach out to Guyana again now to see if anybody have a picture of them coming in at the airport or something. And he said they didn't set up any team photo. And the funeral cheers and stuff like that. So I tried to, but if not, what I would simply do now is take a picture of Mitch and put it at the top of that same team that he played for when he was injured.
Oh, okay.
And just put underneath also played, you know?
Right.
In the team, so, you know? I mean, I can't put this.
Mankad and Selassie and so, these guys.
And my brother, you know, my family not in the book. So that is the emphasis. You know, and I'm trying to write one, two little things to go with it and stuff, you know. But I want to make sure I get everybody.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can't leave out Mankad and you can't leave out Selassie and Mr. Crump and these guys, you know, that used to work at the Public Works Department. They were around the field.
Repeat that again, Mark.
No, I'm saying you cannot forget Mankad. That's Stead's father.
Yes. Well, somebody said, I think, you are your brother. I think the civil told me that he didn't see. Perhaps you could check it from me that he think that some picture in the family album home there with Mankad. Anyway, when he came and saw me, he said he think he see a picture with Mankad, and I would love to get that Mankad. Don't forget Mankad. Mankad, I don't forget you. My Mankad put a cousin for me, boy. I tell you. The Mankad now kind of like shrinky and acting something.
Yeah. And you will walk out around the field, eh?
Yeah, what happened?
You hear his voice all
he's a person, they said when you put Mankad by the gate, to make sure people don't come inside the place. They say even air can't pass him. That's just for people, right? They put Mankad, Mr. Christian said, put Mankad at the bottom of the step and tell Mankad nobody coming out here except to have a pass. He said, right. Now, if you think about Mankad, if you come and try to tell Mankad, hey man, I gotta go upstairs, I gotta go see and this body, Mankad don't even hear you. You just get like stone, you don't want to hear nothing. Right? So, Lance Gibbs was passing through and stopped. So when Lance Gibbs you come to the ground and watch some cricket. Then he usually gives you everybody know Lance Gibbs. So when Lance Gibbs come now, when Lance Gibbs which are the bottom step to come up, hey Mankad, way a pass. Now Mankad knows Lance Gibbs now.
Yeah.
You know. When you way a pass, you gotta tell you collect a pass. So Lance Gibbs kind of looking at you and some people behind Lance Gibbs say, man, that is Lance Gibbs. And the guy now, hey Mankad, I don't give a ass whether he's Lance Gibbs, or Lance Gibbs. You got to get a pass to pass here.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Walker was upstairs, he's here like Lance Gibbs. He was then president of the president of the ICC and thing. And so he went to Sydney went downstairs and chased Mankad from the door. But Mankad go to the field and start cussing. He cussing the Christian family. And I can even people cussing.
Right.
So me and Mankad both because me and Mankad and my father used to sit down for the veranda. So I said, Mankad is my partner, you know. But I made the mistake. He said something, I made the mistake, I laugh. Really, You're laughing and then you're chunky lost. The man started one crossing by and crossed me off and thing. And then come the next day and tell me sorry. I said, well,
And
what a man, yes.
And Jabi, there was Crump who worked at the Public Works Department. Very motive guy, you know. You know his son is all around football and so now. But he was one, I remember one time when Gordon Greenwich, you know, was failing and he said, you know, Gordon Greenwich can't bat. Then somebody taped his voice, you know, saying that Gordon Greenwich can't bat. And so Gordon Greenwich made some runs again, I think, in the next game, and somebody came back to Mr. Crump and say, what you have to say now about Gordon Greenwich now, man? He made 260 not out. He said, well, yes, he's a good player. So they played the tape back now for him, where he said that Gordon Greenwich can't bat, you know. Yeah. When he heard the tape, he said, no, that's not my voice. That's not my voice. No, that's some characters around. I tell you.
I know, Mr. Crump.
I know it's going to be very, very interesting. And
but you see, like that study now.
Huh?
When study on the side screen, you know, I'm in the scoreboard. I study put a question from Lara.
Brian?
Yes. We had a problem with Lara. We used to cause Lara all the time from the scoreboard. Lara will complain that somebody put on the scoreboard. You know, just saying these things to you and that, you know what I mean? And so, he complained and said that nobody in tell you study that. You study in charge of the board. So, Jeff Dujano, he had just retired. And he came here to do a camp, a keeping camp up. And but he was here at the time, because I have a picture with you and Danimich and Amali.
Right.
And they had a camp up there and so. And so Dujano come to me and said, I'm coming to the recreation down tomorrow, some game going on. You know this guy called Study? I say, yes. Maybe I want to introduce you to me, man. I said, no problem. So he come early now. He come early to the game before the game start. And he come and sit down with me. He buy a drink from me. From the time they don't buy the drink, I know it's something you want. I understand. But then I said, we don't have a reputation with Bijan someone in England, take out a £1 note. And that the money they really pocket so long that when he take out the note, the queen around their glasses. Then he pocket so long. So I usually buy drink and so I call Study. But what you drink instead? I think on this kind of thing, when you buy some drinks and Study, you see them like, oh, yeah, like, oh, before the game. I used to them there, you know, 2 drinks and stuff. So I studied that back to the board. I said, Bridge, it's already going on. Hey, Bridge, I don't want them to do it, you know. So I make him friends early. We study, we have a part to study all the time. He said, you hear that, you know, I said, well, you know, he's like, yeah, right now. Yeah, I'm playing no cricket and so on, yeah. So.
No, Jabi, you've been with the West Indies team, you've been around, and you've been taking a lot of photographs of the West Indies team and stuff like that, right? Were you accepted? When I say you accepted, I mean, no, you know, before, when people used to look at rasters and stuff like that, and you know, and had their own opinion of people, right? And you coming from Antigua and traveling like to India, Pakistan, Australia, as a photographer, a cricket photographer. How was that experience? You know, what did you experience anything out of the ordinary, or did they accept you, or you know?
Well, I must say, right? Most of the issues that I've had has been in the Caribbean. No, I tell you why. Places like India and so, you know, I really team, and places like India, even closer to the team because I'm at home and I really went for the first time I went. So the Indian people associate me with the team. They used to refer to me as the man with the upside down kettle on his head. Right. So it chip and thing. There's a England had an issue and fought with your brother. You're forever grateful to your brother, being a friend. And when we got to England, 1980, when I wanted to take some photographs of the English players. Because I remember a producer, a magazine, an outdoor magazine for our first test match. And I went. So, Ian Bolton, that's when I met him. He then introduced me to Ian. And we became close immediately. So Ian was looking out for me. Because when we're practicing at Lodge, at the back of Lodge, no pressure not allowed in there when we're practicing. So they gave me a thing, something with it, it's a blue something. I had it there, and it's still in the room something. And it had like a grey thing around it. And that would give me access to the back. So I went out there and took some facial profiles and stuff. When I was coming inside the pavilion now, this is like the third day, But because now I go in and I had to go and take a picture of boycott because he was not practice. And when I walk in, the man in the gate said, me never know like man called me, so good morning, sir. And then kind of thing there, so. So I pass in through. The next thing, the manager for the Restream, we stayed so happy for them. Coming down the step and said, my father would be ashamed of me. I know my father. My father would be ashamed of you. You coming in here without tie and stuff. And this kind of thing. So I said, so happy, I don't really tie. Well, it's just time to start. And dress properly. And this kind of thing, right? So I was taking the honor, so. But the next thing I noticed, the man in the gate was, he said to himself, why this man will come in here like he was, he was saying nothing. So I better went in. So when I went to your brother. And I tell you what, man, I did doing and stuff for the workout and stuff. And you saw, and you said, listen, when I hear about it, I like real time. So you give me a resting this time. Like a new gun, I say, I don't know, just leave me off. So I get the time now. So I had to go over by the Indian dressing room. And when I went over there, I tried both of them up and down, saying so. And both of them said, I don't deal with that. So the next morning, when I was coming in, they all the morning sir and them thing, the morning telling me them things there. The man kind of just opening and like halfway locked and so. And both was standing up at the top and both and say, hey, I shout to the man. I tell the man, what are you doing? Let the man pass. And I passed through, and then after that, I never had no more problems. Right? My problems come right here in the Caribbean.
Wow.
One time, they got to put me out of the Queen's Park Oval. And up to this day, my shoulder, as if a little thing in the shoulder. There's a better responsible for that. They come and tell me for commodity. And I don't have nothing to do with it, It's Eileen Bayer. Eileen used to take my camera equipment and have it up there and talking through it like a microphone. And he had this thing there talking. And somebody come and see there and say, oh, do you camera upstairs in the Queen's Park? Over and all this kind of stuff. I said, no, I did not. The man is listening to me, having a liquor. He ain't listening to me. So I decided, for the sake of peace, I will just go down and step on the wrong way. And as I walk in to go, the brother pulled me from the dressing room. And I go in the opposite direction. And he just pulled me so and pulled me in the dressing room. Look at the man and say, you want to come and take you out in here? Yes. And they are just cool out and thing. And I'm going to go and talk to the man and tell the man he's not me carry the thing up there, and then eventually come and apologize.
But I don't know if you remember, right? But it was in England. When we went by the gate and we were going up to the players box or something like that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
of course we had to have on jacket and tie, and we didn't, you know. When
Yes,
the
right.
man stopped us at the door, you know, he says, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you can't go in without a tie. Oh, I'm sorry, Viv. Oh, sorry. And say, yes, and he's with me, you know. And we both went up, you know.
Yes, yes. I hear that.
You know that?
No, I don't forget because you know the same way. You see Malay some small petite cigar they smoke. When we try to Maury. One Maury back a little bit and Maury asked me for one and I passed the box too. And when the man passed back the box, the thing used to roll about 50 of them. And the man passed back with the box and only about 10 of them inside. And he had the only thing in the hand, but he was standing there and he just bring his hand in front. Without a cigar in his hand. I just took all of them out, put them in the box, and then he had him out and pulled that one and all out. I took it. I did, I don't forget that too, man. And then one of the biggest issues I had though, is when in Guyana, Guyana had a rule for the club that says nobody allowed in the club with a hat unless you're a police officer or something so, right? So I went up there with my head telling her so. And they come to me and tell me, you know, I gotta take it off. So I said, why? They said, well, you're not allowed. I said, what? The rule is not consistent. They said, no. One telling me, no, boy. You know, we're very strict with that rule. I said, well, I'm telling you. Because last year, they had 5 men inside the area and tell them what to. He said, how was 5 men? I said, Bishan sing, baby, Melinda sing, and I call all them go through and sing. Them 6, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know them all up the head, right? You go to say, that is the religion. And before you could finish it, I will come his mouth and say, well, I have respect for you also. And you always show me respect. Don't say what you got to say. I say, you see this thing I have in Pomeriade, we refer to this as a crown. He said, oh yeah, see your name. I was like, that's my religion. So they just had a meeting, and they said, allowed to come in the pavilion with my hat on. But you hear each other now. To make me feel a kind of way. They tell me something, you know, which is very catchy I am. They tell me, you know, what you ever had. And he managed a team down in the village, sincerely without my hat. He said, so tell me something. You know, here like and so I took off my hat. I said, you know my hair, I took off my hat. Well, it's a good thing, let's keep all your hats. Look at my excuse. I said, why? Well, if you walk around with all the hair, so with them locks there, so you don't cause confusion, people don't watch cricket. So, you know, a lot of them things that, you know, we just want it. I don't know, that most of the problems in the Caribbean. I've had no problems, you know, internationally or so. Although I must say that being around the team, the Warriors around the team, you know, being around the team would have helped considerably, you know. That's tough. I remember your brother had, your brother defend me already. Somebody bad talking me, or something, he come to the defense, and the fellow just shut up, you know. Hush him out, something kind of thing, you know. So, you know, even through the Caribbean, never had no problems through the Caribbean, you know. So, matter of fact, one say that monks, you know, I the reason and so. They say it's one of the few people that go through the Caribbean and around the day working a pocket in a bar and nothing for no cannabis, you know. Because most time when I reach the customs and someone want to talk cricket, you know. I want to talk cricket and say, so we just music cricket and I go around, nobody ever search me.
For how you look, eh?
I'm very grateful for that, you know. and stuff.
Yeah.
Except for the one time when the one in Trinidad, you know? I had an incident in Trinidad there. And that was important. You know, I don't walk about in that thing. And once I run the team, once I run the rest of the team, I stay clear of having any kind of anything. Anything I tell you shit, hotel I ever go, you know? I don't mess with that. I do an next joke in South Africa. So, remember, your brother was chairman of selectors, but he was also invited by the South African government. He was given an ambassador status. And once he given that status, they had a car designated to him with a driver and a fellow who is like an agent, you know, kind of big CIA agent, some guy that go handle himself and so on. So I used to wait in the morning, and I just go in the car together and go to the ground. So we went down by this place. It was a test match, and we watched the play every day. When I was leaving now, a whole bunch of Rasta, about 60 Rasta man. One of them come and say, they want me to rest in this team. Ricky Skype was the manager, I went to Ricky, and I say, you know, this Rasta man. He said, yeah man, no problem. Until he said, I don't cricket, I say, yeah man, let him come. But what happened, we think there was 5 or 6 people. When they reached the gate, I tell you, it was nearly 60 man, you know. There's the whole village come out. So anyway, the police had looked at thing that block off something, and they eventually came inside. So this guy now, this Rasta man come and bring a bag. And when I tell you a bag, I'm talking about a big bag full of herb. And tell me, he bring this for me. So I said, hey man, you crazy man, there's a police car right going in. No, you can't do that. So he said, I got to take some. So I just said, you know what I don't do it now? I go to the policeman and I say, so they're not really ready yet to leave. So could you take me back to the hotel and come back from the master? No problem. Because I don't want to live in the car with me having the hard on me. You saw what I mean? So I went to the car, and when we reached halfway up the road, the other driver asked me, the driver, listen now, if you want anything to smoke, tell me, you know. Then the policeman told me so. When I used to work with narcotics, and I could get nice sort for you, so just anything you want, just let me know. Of course, I know falling down in case of a choppy setting, so I tell you, no, I don't really know how, but I can promise. When the team leaving to go to the next test venue, I'm going to be driving. And I've decided I'm going to drive and see the country. And then if you can do it for me, then he said, sure man, no problem. So when we went back for survey. And they went back to the hotel. And so when I get ready to leave now, the bus pulling off and I then the car come. I get to bring some and come and say to her again, if you see your mom or this mom, I just say, mom, is alright, you know. I just have a very small portion for you know, for this drive, you know, because it's over 1,000 miles away and drive, you know. And one side of South Africa to the next. And then there's a man who writes some memoirs about them to them. Different kind of situations.
Do you think that South Africa had more players, black players, who could have made it in your travels? That you've
just before I went there, a lot of that situation. The first time I went, a lot of that situation got sorted out because the president was a black man. You know, so when that changed, of course, the makeup of the team was still void of black players. But at the, he put the team into motion. So you could see guys like Antini, have them a real partner, and one-year ticket. He was just coming out like, and they just embrace him, and and then you see one, two other players start coming in the team, and and the team at the time the team was beginning to gel. The guy got a black president. So so even the racism and so you never see it, being exhibited and so. They might go somewhere else and do that, Because that country there, I experienced some serious one or two problems in the country, and we really lost also. And I was warned, the Jacobs warned me. When I was driving again, I get a car real cheap, So when I'm driving outside, I got a map, and I go distances, I just go up in a mountain in the night and sleep, go up high, take a sleep, have a music, and then next day driving again and taking photos. Until I give a beautiful country, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. And one, so when you go through this place, don't stop. Pass it on your head. Don't stop there. I forget where you tell me and I stop there. I go in a mall to buy, they have a vegetarian place inside in the mall, a sea sign. And I see, when I look at the map, and the way everybody tell me how to drive, I look at the map and I see, like where I'm going, they have a short way that will take off at least 2 hours from the drive. So I said, well, I wonder why everybody send me that way and not through this place. So I go in the mall now and I walk past it and down with the safari clothes. And you're sitting there behind the kind of rail and here on the table. And I say, excuse me. And the man jump up and tell me, F off. Before he could say anything. So he kind of catch me like that. So I about to say to him now, look man, I don't want him to just ask him a question. I need some advice. And before he could talk again, the man get up. And the man say, you know, here was sir. F off. Yeah, I ain't taking that. So I just gone into my accent right away. I start say, who you talking to? You Italian, then you Italian. Now remember them days I have a little limp. But you can't see him. Because standing up there, and you don't notice anything. So when you hear my accent now, from the time you hear the accent and you realize they're not South African, you know, see somebody there's one arrested them crazy people. So he sat down back. So when he sit down back now, I kind of doing my acting, you know. I kind of moving off, started turning back and looking at you and making like a jump over the thing and so. Just so you don't keep your eyes on me.
Right.
And see when I gotta walk, or you see me walking and have a limp. That might be some encouragement to say, you can come and try something. So you looking at me. When I reach to the place now to order my thing, I like the girl come inside the place that working there. I said, excuse me, you have to leave the mall. So I said, how is that? She told me, we don't allow harassment or begging customers in this place. So I said, who I harass and who I beg? And she stood there, she said she knew that she had this big jewelry guy with her. And she knew it, like, in case I try to, you know?
Yeah. Give
a big man. So, I told her, I said, beg what? So same time, I do something in my back pocket and pull out my penetration. I said, I come into bed and I come and get and show it to her. She's still kind of, she's watching it, but she's still kind of telling me I gotta leave the mall. And then a white woman now who is English as opposed to Dutch, because you see, is in Dutch area, we call them boys. then like they don't understand apartheid then.
Mm-hmm.
So the woman said, listen, I saw everything. And the gentleman was over there and like I was about to ask him and he cussed me and thing and so. So you should cool down now. And I see a big smile to his old man face, they're like, I'm glad now, you know, I'm glad that you ain't got rough me up and doing nothing. You went outside of sport. So I love Rasta. And but if she tell you to carry me out, you would have to carry me out because it's the job.
Mm-hmm.
So I think so. So after that now she got to walk away. And I held her by her hand. And I pulled her back and said, I don't have something to say. She said, like what? I said, like, sorry. I said, you see where I come from? I get respect, you know. And I expect I come to this country where people will respect me. Mm-hmm. She got me something like, I said, I haven't heard you. And I make sure apologize. That is the man. When I go outside, now he just saw how me up outside, he give me a little doll. He had there, so he might feed that, and he give me the doll as a little doll. Mm-hmm. You know? And then I asked him about the you know, serious road. Mm-hmm. He said, look, let me tell you something, my brother. It's just because the place you're going through there is a township. Mm-hmm. And it's just all black people. So whenever we ask them anything, they just send you the long way along the highway. I said, okay, nice man, I drive through there. Mm-hmm. You know? Take long and some gravel, be stopping all over the people call it, waving at me, stopping and talking to people inside. Mm-hmm. So I feel the people really lovely, man. Mm-hmm. So, you know, a half-hour drive turned into like 2 hours. So, you know. Wonderful days, man. So, you know, wonderful days, man.
But you were very close to Entini, right? And
sorry?
You were very close to Entini.
Yeah, man. Man.
Did you?
I have a picture there. I'll put it in the book. Yeah. We have my lock swap in the head. Oh, no, good.
Yeah.
When the first time I was in the South Africa team was going to Trinidad. And I joined the team with them. And you walk in, you know, you're funny and very outgoing and so. Mm-hmm. So, you see him. There's one Tanamera. I said one Tanamera, so. Yeah. So, he's singing 1 way ticket. And you know, 1 way ticket. So I call him. I said, there's not a 1 way ticket. You know, say, you know, he said. I said 1 Tanamera. I was spell it free. He said, no. I can't deal with that. I stick into 1 way ticket. Right? So from since then, we just call each other that. You know what I mean? We always sneak it up and like, 1 way ticket. You know, man, and he drive me all over the place, man. He saved my life too. At the time I would have get blown away.
I was saying, did he share any kind of bad experience? Well, you know, as one of the black players in the South African team, whether he experienced any kind of, you know, anything from the...
I don't think so. And he was really loved, you know.
Right, but he wrote a book that you know, that he was an experienced player. You know, much more than some of those, you know, the younger ones that came in. And when they had their meetings, he was excluded. You know, that's why he was always keep to himself, and he would run to the ground instead of getting on the bus, because, you know, he wrote a very telling story. You know, you kind
of right in the sense that
on the field is now.
I know that, which is why we drove a lot, because the bus would go from one venue to the next. Mm-hmm. So he used to take me. And he would always drive himself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But other than that, you know, just generally speaking, because he was so jovial and loving and so, that it would have been hard for them to like set things in his face or anything. So, and he was really well loved, man. Really well loved. All over the Caribbean too. Mm-hmm. So I remember he put on a bowling performance there in Trinidad. They understand Cali and a very good one. he put on a bowling performance like that in this sun hot bad, and this man just bowl and bowl and bowl. It's something else, man. You know. But you know, I don't have access to things like dressing rooms also.
Oh, okay.
And don't complain, you know. Don't complain. You don't complain. You just go about doing the game.
That's right.
And you're better than them. You know, very fast bowling, you're better than them, man. And you just go there, you go enjoy life, yes. You know, let them to his body, you know, and you love his family a lot, you know. You're a family man, so sometimes you just leave and they drive all the way up to his land and you live there. So just go and see family, son, spend a half hour and down back with a big long drive again. You know, so.
Let's get a little closer to home here now.
That's right.
And the Leeward Islands tournament. It was a big thing for us here in the Leewards, the tournament, and it has just died. What do you think it will take to bring it back to where it was before?
Finances, for one. I was hoping that by now we are seeing the board, particularly with the president being from St. Kitts, that more money would have been generated because the discourse had been going on from before no was about the differences between Trinidad and Barbados and these places, and also Western tournaments here, having to fly and this and that, and you know what I mean? And I was hoping that by now that they would offset a lot of that. You know, there were talks, but I was seeing nothing, you know, to cover the expenses for that. So if you could have tournaments, if you don't have a sponsor and so, you're having problems, you know. And the senior cricket will always suffer from that. You know, the senior cricket will suffer from that now. Although to be fair to them, we also seeing it at a more regional level now, you know. That for all them time you can't host a 4-day tournament for a couple of years here because they don't have no sponsor. And they have been unable to find the money to use it to host a 4-day tournament.
So things are getting worse rather than better, because I mean, you look to be a little better today than you was yesterday, and a little better tomorrow than you are today. But it looks like, it's getting worse.
Yes, definitely. So I'm hoping with the advent of the couple of tours we had, that we could generate enough money, even if the Antigua Cricket Association have to contribute something to it. And so, with the advent of the board being here, you know, I was feeling that, you know, they might extend the courtesy of ground to you and all them things, but I feel some of funds got to be injected into the island with the plan. We had to try and go back to home and away with things and them kind of something like. So we usually get decent cricket and play both sides and, you know, both countries, you know, travel and go and come and things like that. Like we start like that, but at least we get third tournament, you know, so the young fellas could develop, you know. So, you know, I was hoping that something like that happened, because yes, these people are very suffer from that.
I mean, you don't have to stay in any sort of elaborate hotels and stuff like that, you know. You could you know, the airline tickets or whatever it is, you know, 2, 3 days, 4 days, you can, you know, the time that you would stay after a game, you can eliminate that, you know. Somebody's got to think of some way to bring that back, because, I mean, the crowd, you know, the spectators came out for these kind of games. You go and play an Antigua against St. Kitts in St. Kitts, it's a good crowd, you know. Same thing if they came to Antigua, or if we went to Nevis, you know, there must be some way that they can they can get it going, you know. Maybe it doesn't have to be 4 days, but a 3-day game or something, you know.
Yeah, the two man, they got to find a way, man. I know it's even more problematic with me at the situation with me at as it you know, is right now. Because, you know,
tough.
at least we had some control in the app that, you know, you could get, you know, things, discounts and stuff, and you get rid of, you know, you organize a charter, and you go back. So the way we are things right now, you know, we are looking at avenues and stuff. No problem.
That's going up now.
I know no problem. Listen, yeah. And you think we should use both.
By the time it's time to turn back.
You must never get seasick. I say you must never get seasick. Some people get a man get seasick going and shot. Because you have to wait about 2 days before anybody can play any cricket. The things are wiped out. You're seasickness.
Okay, but before we go, let's get into a little calypso, you know, and maybe we can talk about some of the calypsonians who have made some cricket songs. You care to talk about some of them?
Yeah, of course. Well, I think the person that had this is Beckett.
Is who?
Beckett.
Yeah. What about
myself? Beckett said more songs more English cricket than any calypsonian.
What about Maestro? Maestro had 2 lovely ones when we won the World Cup.
Yes, well, I don't think any of Beckett calypsos. I know he's made a few. Yeah, but just one. I think, but most of Beckett calypsos, he just made a lot of them. But of course, nothing to like David the other song Maestro. You got Sparrow. Sparrow, like quite a few songs about
that's a classic also. Yes.
You know, and you can go back from way back.
This
like a Tilly Horn in them on there, like about Constantine and different things. You know, there's over. If I could do a book, he promised to send the book to me. There's a going on now over a year now. I don't try to wrote a book with all the songs about cricket in calypso.
Yes, I got one too. That's why I brought it up.
Well, you have one, you say?
Yes. There was this relator. It was relator also, right?
Of course, the Vascar.
Yeah. It was the little master, just like a wall.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
But
I love the lyrics for Maestro. He said that they try some old fellas, they try some newcomers, some young players, but all of them dig the same horrors.
My show is special, man.
Huh?
My show is special, man.
Yes.
But it's so amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Maestro writes so many calypsos, beautiful calypsos, both for himself and other people. In 1969, 1969 or 79, 1979 was I think Salinian with Caribbean Man.
Yeah, Caribbean Man.
Maestro had, of the 10 calypsos on stage, Maestro wrote for 7 of them.
Wow.
Francine, tune there was so popular on TV, right? And the amazing thing is that Maestro never plays in a competition. You never plays.
Yeah.
It only shows you the nature of calypso. He couldn't perform. He was a magnificent singer, so that just can't perform. He's like Baron. I am tuned by make more money. I can make any calypso and play the Sparrow.
Okay.
And Baron never plays neither. The third one, another white man again, is Merchant. Yeah, much in never
I
place.
understand he was a good writer too, eh?
Huh?
He was a good writer.
Yeah, man. When drugs make him up, you know. Drugs make him up. Way bad. But he was a tremendous writer, and but can't perform. That's why I just tell people, you know, everybody said that there was recreation ground for real calypso competition. The guy recreation ground for see calypso competition. You know, they go up on the stage.
Yeah.
You got to get your stuff together. Yes.
And even as I say, it's 5 points for stage presentation, you know.
Yes.
When the crowd make the noise, those points gone up.
Yeah, of course.
Make sure they satisfy those points.
They take everybody out, the judges.
Yeah.
They're so stupid. All the judges, I lock them up in a room, I take a look at the card in the box there. And put everybody inside and close up all the window and get a condition of fun happening. People start keeping noise and so. When you keep the noise out, people start banging out on the wall and to them. They just abandon the idea right away. So, 40 points in lyrics. You know, like I was saying, Omar, if Calypso wasn't the way it was, say like, you know, it's based on competition, which I obviously would head the art form because of the, you know, swallow voices, short point voices, you know, thing and so. And the coach coming down and different kind of something. You know, but I think that in a way, for instance, it's only called soca. There would be nothing called soca if it was for the competition. Soca would just be another idiom of calypso. You understand what I mean? Just like you know, you have jumpy tunes in calypso, you have the tunes that people start political tunes and that kind of thing. You know? So you got the vigilante, a fast one and a slow one, and things like that. And I just feel because of the judging format, because there's only one calypso and I ever know. Since I'm watching calypso, that really two jumpy tunes. It's Tambo. You know that?
Of course, yes. I remember Tambo. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we always have all the so talking so. Well, Javi, we've come to the end of this lovely afternoon, you know. And I want to thank you very much. I want to thank you very, very much for deciding to come and talk in sports. I really appreciate it more. Yeah. Anytime I remember this, I was family. Anytime. The first time we had you, I didn't get enough of you, so we had to bring you back another time for a part two. And of course, when the book is completed, and so we can discuss the book and how far you reach with it. Yes, well, I want you to put it out there for the images that I was trying to get, you know? Yes. I might have to disclose, I have the book soon, but if I can get study a man card and Bailey and Comp as you mentioned and so, it will not consider it. If you get a picture with Bailey, you may not recognize him because he might be in one of those clown suit. Well, you see, even if it comes to that, it's better have that than have nothing, you know what I mean? You know, because actually most people associate with Highlanders, yeah. Yes, you know, the Jambo. Yeah, man. Well, thanks again, Jabi. Enough. Yes, man. Thanks and praise, yeah. And I appreciate it. Blessings continue to and glad I can protect. Yes, man. So we say on behalf of our executive producer, Taddy Arundel, along with Auden and his associate trainee, and along with our sponsors, ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking, Blue Mountain Water, and also Cecil Charles Group of Companies, which is Seco Pharmacy and Hutchison Limited, along with Plumbing, Electrical, and Brand for Less. We say goodbye for now until next week, Monday, when you can join me and Auden for another exciting episode of Talking Sports. We say bye for now.